This is TWiT.
There was some money spent, but not a lot on Cyber Monday and Black Friday. We had the Black Friday report last weekend. Cyber Monday sales dropped 1.4% from an already slow year last year, $10.7 billion. That's the first time ever. Alex, you say this is evidence that e-commerce growth is slowing.
Yeah, so critical phrasing there. E-commerce growth is slowing, not that e-commerce is in decline. But we did see, I think it was year-over-year declines in digital sales for Black Friday, and then also slight declines in Cyber Monday sales.
Did it go up a lot last year because of COVID, and is it now just kind of normalizing? Is that possible?
That's my broader thesis about all of this, because like a lot of folks, I've spent much of the last 2 years at home, which means I've already bought all the stuff for my house I could possibly want. We got a new dishwasher, we bought Sonos. And so now my house is pretty kitted out. I have a home gym now. And so when Cyber Monday comes along or Black Friday, I'm like, oh, I'm actually kind of done. I've completed all of that stuff. And so I wonder if there's just a...
Is it also possible, I think this might be maybe a part of it. I notice we're doing this. We're buying more locally. It's a little more expensive sometimes, but it's certainly less convenient. But we want to support our local merchants because we're terrified they're going to all disappear.
Yes, very much so.
Right?
I think that's
all
a good point.
The restaurants are closing for sure. I'm worried. A lot of stores downtown are closing. So I wonder if people are also saying, maybe we should spend our money locally.
We try to do that with books. There's a bookstore in Providence called Books on the Square, and we're trying to do most of our book buying there because we don't want them to go away. They have a great children's book section. We want to have kids. I want that to be there when I have children.
Every dollar you spend there is a dollar Amazon doesn't get. Books on the block. Yeah. You can use your ETH there.
The slowdown in e-commerce is actually worse than, I think it's worse than it sounds, because one of the strange phenomena that happened during COVID and continue to happen is that people have shifted their purchasing from services to some degree to products, right? So travel services, people are traveling a lot less. All the things that people do for business travel is way down. So, services in general, the kinds of services you can't take advantage of during a pandemic are down, and people are buying products. And so if you're looking at declines in what are essentially products on e-commerce, it's going to be even worse once the pandemic is over, because I think there's going to be a rush, a pendulum swing back to services, and the money available to spend on products is going to, I think, crash to a certain extent as a correction.
So I guess we'll watch next year. I feel like e-commerce is here to stay, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the thing. It's not that e-commerce is going to go away. It's that the rapid ascent of e-commerce as a percentage of the larger economy is slowing. Yeah. Right. And so we saw this in Amazon's earnings. AWS crushed it. The broader e-commerce business at Amazon was kind of soft.
Yeah.
Shopify had its first kind of quarterly miss, if you will, in its history as a public company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're seeing signals that this great acceleration of e-commerce, or the movement to e-commerce, is slowing. But Amazon's not going away. There's still going to be struggles in the town square, but I think that we are seeing a bit of a reversion towards a more normal period of growth, which matters a lot, frankly.
And speaking of the new normal, I mean, I think, for a while, for several years, Black Friday was a thing. Cyber Monday was a thing because there was a certain novelty to it. There was a lot of competition to drive down prices. There was a lot of loss leading and so on. And now I think we've gotten to a new normal where essentially there are discounts all year long.
That's true.
And it's really not that big of a deal anymore.
So it might be spread out, not just that down, just spread out more.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense for a lot of companies to compete for that one, on low price for that one day, when they can offer a super low price in the middle of February and get all the sales for that, for that particular moment. So I just think it's kind of over now.
Yeah. Also, fake shopping holidays are stupid. Why do we have Cyber Monday? One, terrible name. Two, just awful branding in general. Three, it's a Monday. I'm busy. I'm working.
It comes
go
from,
F off.
Brian McCullough, he's the internet historian, I'm sure can explain this. It comes from the idea, and the word cyber is the dead giveaway, that back in the day, you would wait to do your online shopping until you got to the fast internet at work. the day after Monday after Thanksgiving. Oh. So it was Cyber Monday, but now most people at home have faster internet than they do at work. So nobody's waiting till Cyber Monday to buy stuff. But I think larger point, they're buying not only all November, they're buying all year long. I mean,
you could surf the internet superhighway in cyberspace at work much more
precisely. Yeah, the internet superhighway is faster.
56 baud modem.
Yeah,
work. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing, better buzzwords now, like ETH and blockchain,
GM.
GM. Web3 Monday.
Yeah. But I mean, another thing to keep in mind is that there are some supply chain issues in these numbers. Yeah. So, for example, I tried to buy an iPad, and I wanted to get an iPad Air. I wanted to get the rose gold one because I bought a pink iMac recently, and I wanted to kind of match. Ooh. And so I went to the Apple store, and they didn't have any iPad Airs in Providence, and they didn't have any regular iPads either. So I was on the website trying to find one to buy for a long time. Ended up buying a refurbished iPad Pro just because it was the only one that would ship to me. But I think there's just some stuff that people want that may have a high dollar amount or high ticket price that is just not available, and that may have also led to some softness in the numbers.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't buy a car. You couldn't buy a lot of things. I don't know if people buy cars on e-commerce, but certainly those shortages must have very much had an impact.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that adds to these numbers. But I think even given all of these caveats, the fact that we saw some declines in volume of sales on these two kind of faux shopping holidays is still a data point worth considering. It's worth chewing on, but not changing your view of the broader market for.